Rahila, go for it. You can unmute yourself now.
Assalamualaikum. So my question is that so when I go to do prayer, sometimes I get like the whispers of shaitan, and then I start doubting my tahara, and then that just puts me into a panic mode. I'm like, I just need to finish, and then I feel like that then stops me from trying to do like the sunnah before the fours or anything like that, because I'm just so anxious about. I get so anxious and that I'm gonna I'll break my prayer or something, and then I just rush through my prayers just to finish it. So how do you deal with that constant anxiety of cleanliness thought?
Yes. Okay. Thank you for your question. It's a very common question. Okay. So how do we deal with the constant kind of, the anxiety that we might have in the salah about the possibility of, where our sort of, our wudu remaining intact? Oftentimes the feeling or the thought that we have lost our wudu, we've passed wind, for example, for lots of people, I think it's quite common that a lot of people feel the anxiety around that, or their sort of sensitivity towards that. So all of a sudden becomes really high during the prayer. Even outside of the prayer, won't even occur to them. They're not really thinking about it too much, right? And it's not necessarily, for some people, and so anyway, so this is where we need to divide up the answer, right? So on the one hand, you might have somebody who, for example, like they genuinely are, like even outside of the prayer, they have a particular kind of, they have some sort of condition, either long-term or temporarily, where they have a bad stomach or irritable bowel syndrome or something which is making them very uncomfortable, right, in their stomach, in their gut, and is making them, for example, pass wind frequently, etc. That's quite possible. In the cases of such situations where that's happening frequently outside of the salah, then one has a leeway or an exception with regards to the prayer itself. So you're not required to constantly repeat your wudu, or even if you break your wudu within the prayer. If this is, to be very clear, if this is a situation where you are, where you have this issue outside of the salah as well, consistently, right? Then you do one wudu, you do your salah. Even if your wudu breaks, you continue. Okay, you continue. Now there are some differences in terms of, okay, some people say like you should try up to 3 times to complete your wudu, right? Meaning you do your wudu, you start your prayer, you break your wudu within the prayer, then you try one more time to do your wudu, then pray one more time, but 3 times max. Others say that no, look, if you've tried if you have this issue outside of the prayer anyway, just one time, and even if you break your wudu, you continue. Okay, so that's that scenario. Another scenario is a common scenario where someone doesn't ordinarily have this issue, but in the prayer, this issue comes up. It's very, very important that you don't let the thoughts around this make you accelerate your prayer. If you think about it, right, the two are not, like, they are connected in some senses, but this is exactly the result that the devil wants from you, basically, right? Put the fear into you of this particular thing happening, and then you basically fast forward your salah, which is precisely what he wants to happen, and precisely what's going to go against your concentration. You yourself know that that's not great for your concentration or your focus in your salah. Okay, so you should just try to pray and give respect to each position and wording of the prayer as is appropriate for that position and wording. Yeah, like try to break the connection between the two things. Then if you know for a fact that you have broken your wudu has broken, then you stop your salah. You stop your salah. For many people, I would say most people have this concern in the prayer, for whom there's not a concern outside of the prayer. The chance of them actually breaking their wudu in the prayer is quite low. Most people won't actually break their wudu in the prayer. They just keep thinking that they will, right? But it won't actually happen. And in order for it to actually happen, you need to know for sure that it's happened. It's not just a suspicion. You feel a suspicion, you haven't broken your wudu. If you feel sure you've broken your wudu, then you've broken your wudu, right? In this case, for passing wind, right? I know it's a sort of a funny thing to talk about openly, but it's important to talk about it because obviously it's important to know. But if you hear a sound or you smell a smell, then you've broken your wudu, right? Then it's explicit, it's very clear, right? In this case, then you stop immediately, you refresh your wudu, and then you start again. Again, even in this scenario, you do not do that more than 3 times for the same salah. Okay. But if you don't have that certainty that has happened, don't let the worry about it accelerate you. Okay. Over time, if you stick to that, you'll realize, I think, inshallah, that feeling will dissipate slowly because you're paying less attention to it. Simply by paying less attention to it, you will not, you will just want to pay attention to it. A long time ago, there was a period of time where I used to get this concern myself quite a lot. I realized it was mostly a concern, right? Probably 95%, or probably more than 95% of the prayers in which I might have thought that, I didn't break my wudu actually. I just kept, he was like, oh, have I not? Or will I not, kind of thing. You're kind of fearful about it, like you said, or anxious about it, but it doesn't actually happen. So you got to, that's something important distinction to make. Okay. Yeah, it's a these questions are very common, and I think a lot of people do experience them with regards to doing their wudu and worrying about have I completed my wudu. That's one, and the other one is, with the salah itself, right? In terms of have I broken my wudu in the salah, and even repeating things within the salah. It's very important not to become obsessive and overly anxious, right, about these things. If it happens for sure. Otherwise, you try to your best to ignore it and continue, and don't let it affect your pace and your quality.